Okay, so the idea is, let's call it, generally describing the posterior circulation of the brain, the vascular anatomy of the posterior circulation of the brain. So we are starting, let's call it, in the vertebrae. Let's do a very big vertebra right over here. We have the vertebral arteries on both sides. Here they come and confluence and create the basilar artery. Let's make him maybe a little bit bigger. But before they create this basilar artery, right over here, this is the basilar artery, those are the vertebral arteries, they give off arteries that are going to the cerebellum, posterior inferior cerebellar artery from both sides, if you want to call them pica. So those vertebral arteries confluence into the basilar artery, and when they are in the start of basilar artery, another couple of arteries which are called anterior inferior cerebellar artery, again going to the cerebellum, AICA if you want, are going from here. Now when we continue with the basilar artery, we will see perforating arteries here, also known as the pontine arteries, right over here. And if we continue with the basilar artery, we will see here the superior cerebellar artery on both sides. And if we continue, and we will end this here, we will see the posterior cerebral artery. Now we are going to the cerebrum. Okay, so this describes the main artery of the posterior circulation. We are starting with the vertebral arteries on both sides, coming from the vertebrae, the cervical vertebrae, coming from the usually from the clavicular arteries there around the clavicula, giving off here to the posterior inferior cerebellar arteries on both sides. Coming together, the vertebral arteries creates the basilar artery right over here. The basilar artery in his starting point give off to the anterior inferior, again, cerebellar artery. We are on the cerebellum part. We continue with the basilar artery giving off perforating pontine arteries. Continue with the basilar artery, we are going to the superior cerebellar artery, to the cerebellum still, and after this we're giving off to a posterior cerebral artery, to the cerebellum now. And then the circle of Willis and everything, I'm not going to show it here. So this was a description, a general description of the normal anatomy and vascular anatomy of the posterior circulation of the brain in general form. Thank you very much. If there are any mistakes or correction, please tell me. This was a general description again. That's it.